Hi good people, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing great. Elster Africa here again with another interesting and amazing episode. And on today's video I've got Virtual Grace. She's an African traveler, I'll call her that way. She's a Nigerian YouTuber and she's here in Cameroon to visit, to show you the other side of Cameroon that you probably have not known about. And right here I will be asking her some questions about her travel experience across Africa as she's been visiting some African. I think that let's first of all hear from her before I start with the questions. Okay.
Hi guys, welcome me. My name is Virtual Grace. Like you said, I'm a travel vlogger. I'm a Nigerian, so I live in Nigeria but I travel across Africa. Alright, I cruised on the Volta Lake. I had a good time to tell African stories, and now I'm in Cameroon, in Yaoundé specifically.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just want to say you're welcome to Cameroon.
Thank you.
How have you been feeling the vibes here in Cameroon?
So far so good, and interesting, you know, because of the AFCON tournament and all. The energy here is really, it's positive. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yes.
I'll be starting with the questions right away. Like the first question I want to ask you is how do you go about like choosing the countries you visit, given the fact that we have 54 countries in Africa, if I'm not making an error, and you go about maybe choosing this, like, okay, let's take for example you are in Cameroon right now. Why did you maybe choose Cameroon, forgetting about the AFCON, because you've as well been to other African countries? Like,
yeah, what
is the motivation behind you choosing a country over others?
Okay, so sometimes there are more than one or even two motivations. You know that Africa is divided largely into two, Anglophone and Francophone Africa. And then of course we have the saxophones, which are like the Spaniards, which are maybe fewer than Anglophone and Francophone. Yeah. But if you look at it, I'm West African, and in West Africa, Francophone countries outnumber Anglophone countries. So when I want to travel, because I do not speak French to an extent that would enable me communicate effectively in those countries, most times I rarely choose Francophone countries. So what I'm saying in essence is I consider the language in that country. So I prefer to go to countries that speak English as official language, so that it will be easy for me to communicate, make videos, and, you know, achieve my goals in that country. I also look at my budget. It's very important because traveling within Africa is very expensive. So if you are not well boxed up, so to say, financially, it will be difficult to go far where you might be required to incur more expenses. So I choose countries within my budget where I know that I can afford a return flight, and then of course the accommodation and all of the expenses that I incur when I travel. So basically those are my two major motivations for choosing a country per time.
Oh wow. You said one thing like that before traveling to countries, like you look at the language and maybe you go for Anglophone countries because you'll be able to communicate better. I've noticed that in the countries you visited Congo, and now you're in Cameroon. Like, how did you go about this?
Yes,
first, let's start with Congo.
Yeah, for Congo, I'm from Benin State, Thieves precisely. And according to the stories that our forebears told us, we migrated from Congo and came all the way and settled in Benue State, Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
So I've always wanted to have that connection, just wanted to see the land where my ancestors migrated from. So when I finally made up my mind to travel full-time last year, Congo, no doubt, was one of the first countries I wanted to go to. Even though they are French-speaking, I felt that ancestral pull to go there. So that was why I went to Congo. Even though Congo is largely francophone, and then they speak Lingala. That is a local language, Lingala, and I don't speak any of those. And it was very difficult, like it was challenging for me.
I can
in
actually
Congo.
understand that.
But I was able to pull through.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
As well, like you've been traveling, and let's forget about language, maybe in francophone countries. Like, what are some of the challenges you actually faced, maybe traveling through some of these countries?
Yeah, so challenges mostly is with knowing people. So you are going to a place you've never been before, you do not know people, so you have to first of all establish relationships, and that's where the challenge starts from. So how do I even initiate conversation in the country I want to go? That's when you have to start researching. And the good thing is, being a YouTuber, it makes it a little easier, because I'm able to go on YouTube and search for content creators in that country, and then I start reaching out. Okay, I want to come to your country. Are there information you can assist me with? Are there things I need to know when I come? Can we link up? You know, so that's usually where it starts. The challenge, first of all, is establishing contacts. You know, in some countries, sometimes you check, but it's difficult to find content creators that are really active that you would really want to link up with and work with. Yeah, so that's it. And then majorly is the language barrier, which I've already talked about. So those are usually the major challenges for me. And then of course financial, which I've mentioned before. So apart from that, Africans, I've always said, we are just cool people. When I travel within Africa, I feel at home. I'm in Cameroon here, I feel at home. I'm walking on the street, nobody knows I'm Nigerian. Except I say it, you know. So that's the beauty of it.
And we actually have Nigerians, if we want to take, like, people who are not actually Cameroonian, Nigerians dominate the foreigners in Cameroon. Let's just take it out. I term it foreigners maybe in quote, because I don't want you actually put it that way. Traveling across Africa, what is that one thing you have seen that is probably unique, maybe with every country you have visited? Maybe it's the uniqueness in anything.
And the thing is, I always say that we are similar, but we are still different. So, the differences I usually observe are in the people. I always say this, that the people, for me, make the place. So, the differences are always in our personalities, are always in our behaviors, and in the way that we interact with people. So, like when I went to Ethiopia, for instance, they are very I don't want to use the word shy, but they're introverted. They are not as outgoing or as loud, so to say, as we are in Nigeria or in West Africa. They are more reserved, more introverted. Congo, their personalities were similar, very much similar to ours in Nigeria. You know, that hustling, that activity and all. Yeah, so for me, when I was there, I was like, Congolese are Nigerians of Central Africa. I just saw a lot of similarities in our personalities. Therefore, Cameroonians here, Cameroonians too are just cool. They are like in the middle, not like Nigerians, not like Ethiopians. It's just in the middle. So those are, I just observed the differences in personalities. And then of course in terms of the architecture, in terms of transportation, is also different here. Like I see a lot of taxis here in Cameroon. There are not many buses, and I don't think there are many private cars on the road as there are the taxis. The taxis are yellow. I see them more on the road than like private vehicles and public buses. So those are some of the differences. And here in Yaoundé, for instance, there are not many high-rise buildings. Like
that's actually true. That's
so those are some of the differences I've observed.
Oh wow! I feel like maybe with Yaoundé you will find most of the taxis, because in Yaoundé the main means of circulation or
transportation,
intra-city, I don't know if you call it intra-city.
Intra-city movement.
Yes, it's with taxis. When you move to Douala, you will see that you find few of these taxis, and you find more of motorbikes.
Oh, motorbikes.
More of motorbikes than the taxis.
Okay.
the next question I wanted to put out to you is what actually motivated you to start traveling Africa?
Okay, what motivated me?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to. So in school, I studied English.
Oh, wow.
And the English, we did a lot of literary studies as well. So reading different texts by African authors, European authors and all. So just to explore the different cultures and draw out sensibilities that are similar to us as Africans or as humanity in general.
Okay.
So reading those books, I used to see like stories set in Senegal, stories set in Kenya, stories set in Guinea. I just always imagined life in those places, living as Africans within the context of the stories that we used to read.
Yeah.
I knew that one day I would love to go to these places physically and explore and experience these things, even the historical novels and all. So when eventually I felt like at least I can afford a ticket to travel, I felt like okay, it's time to travel, and I have YouTube as a platform to explore and then share out there with other people. And another motivation is the fact that along the way I wanted to study journalism. I wanted to be a journalist, a presenter, a TV presenter, really. But because I didn't make my way to TV, YouTube came in like at the perfect time, offering me the platform to still express that dream I always had. So it was like 2-in-1 opportunities, and I took it. Now I'm traveling, I'm exploring, I'm sharing, we are talking here, so it's just a perfect timing.
Wow, quite interesting there.
Yes.
I don't know if this should be maybe drawing to the last questions. What could be your message to people who are aspiring maybe to travel Africa? Given the fact that, like me, for example, I always hear that flight tickets going through Africa is very expensive.
Yes, it
and maybe
is.
some other things as well. What could be maybe that advice you give to someone who wants to start traveling maybe today?
Okay, if you want to start traveling, I would say have a plan. I had a plan myself. I was working, I worked for a while. While working, I was doing YouTube, but it wasn't travels. I was doing, other content, building my platform, exploring myself and being more confident in sitting in front of the camera, and, having a plan for when I would eventually start traveling, saving up as well. So I would say if you want to travel, have a plan. Draw out a plan for yourself. Maybe in the next 1 year I should start traveling, so you start saving up. How much would it cost for me to go to this place at first? You do your research and start saving up. Start trying to establish relationships with people, because you would need those people as you travel. So save up, have a plan, save up, establish relationships, develop yourself, research about the places you would like to go. What are the things that would interest you there? And for your audience as well, what are the things that would interest them, that would make them watch? Or if I just want to travel, not for YouTube, not for Instagram, but just to connect with other Africans, I would say do it. It's a worthy investment. I said it in one of my videos that I feel like some of the problems we have in Africa is because we do not understand ourselves. We have some stereotypes that have been forced down on us about fellow Africans, that sometimes we do not even take time to verify if it's true or not. But if we get to travel and mingle, seek to understand one another, it would promote peace on our continent as well. We'd see each other as brothers and sisters, as one people, and would embrace ourselves more. And with peace comes development, isn't it? So travel, have a plan, travel, go out there and travel. You would enjoy it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that you just hit everything from her. Like, it is so encouraging, so motivational. And if you you have been feeling reluctant on maybe traveling and maybe the means or some other obstacles, I feel like you must have learned something from what she just said.
Yes, and sorry, another thing, sorry to interrupt you. Another thing is for the people who want to travel but not to travel for YouTube or Instagram, it might be difficult for you to establish contacts, because for us it's easy because I have fellow content creators.
Yeah.
But if you are not a creator, you can research for tour companies in those countries. Like there are tour companies in almost all the countries you would want to visit who are willing. Sometimes they even offer packages, tour packages, that you can reach out to them, you know, establish communication. I will be coming to your country. Some people offer even offer airport pickups. So by the time you get to that country, they can pick you up from the airport. They help you with booking accommodation, help you with taking you around the country to different tourist attractions, to explore the tourist attractions and the cultures there. So that's another way you can go about it if you are not a creator.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And please, I just want to say, if you've watched this video to this point, don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up if you don't like it. Do leave a comment of what you think, and above all, consider clicking that subscribe button for more interesting and amazing content from here. And the link to our channel as well will be in the description box.
Yeah.
Just go there, subscribe, and watch Africa from her channel.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I'll be coming to maybe the last question.
Okay.
Content creators, like, what is your message, like a general message to content creators and maybe Africans as well?
Okay, to content creators, I would say create. Just create. If you feel you want to be a content creator or you're already a content creator, just create. There are stories everywhere, like stories everywhere. Sometimes it might be challenging in that you might be making videos. I understand the effort we put in behind the scene to record, to edit, to post, even financially, and sometimes returns might not be coming on it, and there's a tendency for us to feel discouraged. I say don't give up, don't be discouraged, just keep pushing, keep learning, keep evolving as well. Try to understand your audience too. What would my audience appreciate better that I also like, and how can I improve my content creation? Watch other content creators, learn from what they are doing and that is giving them success, and then you can also adapt it and tweak it to suit your own personality, you know, and then you see it just would keep getting better and better. I've come, like, from myself. I started, when I look at my old videos now, I cringe because there were a lot of things I was doing that I say, I shouldn't have done that, but it's part of the growth, you know. When you look back, you appreciate it. So just create, keep creating. And then for Africans, well, for Africans, I would say let's embrace peace, let's embrace love and unity. Those are the ingredients, in my opinion, that are going to push our continent forward and are going to help us achieve development. Because when there's peace, when there's unity, and when there's understanding, then we can achieve progress and prosperity. Yeah, so that's it.
Wow.
One love and peace, Africa.
I think that she needs a round of applause there. I just want to thank you so much for having watched this video, and I also want to thank her so much. Like, I really want to thank you so much for your time and for having accepted as well for us to actually film this video. Like, it was amazing doing this.
Yeah.
My final message is Africa can only get better through us.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye. Okay.